Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight, from the gateway city of St. Louis, it's the Cardinals looking for a sweep against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Game number 2, late night here at Busch Stadium. A productive night, though, for the Cardinals. They saw the return of Jason Mott, some great defense behind him, inning and 2/3 of scoreless baseball in his return to the big leagues. 12th inning, it was a big night for this man, Alan Craig. Put the ball in play, good things happen. Throwing error led to the victory. The Cardinals win it in 12. Welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball. That's the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. My name is Dan McLaughlin. The Cardinals took 2 of 3 in this homestand against Chicago, did the same against Atlanta, and now a chance for a sweep against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Very productive homestand.
Well, we thought this homestand was going to be a time where the Cardinals could make up some ground. They've done great on this homestand. But when you're 6-2 and have 1 game left, you're a little dissatisfied unless you win this one tonight.
Look at the starters when we come back. It's a good matchup. The lefty, Wade Miley for Arizona. Hard-throwing righty, Lance Lynn for St. Louis. Baseball coming up. 4 this season. Lance Lynn will go for the Cardinals. BJC Healthcare difference makers in the respective lineups tonight. Mark Ellis against Miley. He's in the lineup. Good numbers against the lefty, 10 for 23. On the other side, the leadoff man, Parra, against Lance Lynn, 5 for 9 with a homer, a double, and 2 triples. Lance Lynn toes the rubber, and he's looking for win number 6 tonight. Driver and enjoy the great times. It's Chevy Truck Month. Visit your Mid-America Chevy dealers to take advantage of Truck Month offers on the all-new Chevy Silverado. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Homestand comes to a close tonight, but we won't be gone for long. A weekend in Cincinnati, then back home at Busch Monday afternoon against the Yankees. Parra will lead things off. He homered last night, then Prado, Goldschmidt, and Hill. Then A.J. Pollock, the speedster, Pennington, Gossowich, Inciarte, and Miley. The Kia starter, Lance Lynn, tonight, making start number 10.
Trying to win game number 6. He came off a win last time out against Atlanta and pitched well.
Diamondbacks this season against right-handed pitching. They are hitting .255. On the surface, you say, well, .255, not so great. Well, 5th best in the National League. You look at numbers across the board offensively, they are way down in baseball.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that pitchers are dominating the way they are. And when you talked about some of the scouts, they talk about the upcoming amateur draft, they say it's mostly pitchers are the big names. And so where have the hitters gone?
Parra is a good young looking player defensively, but offensively he has come alive as of late as he looks at a strike. Didn't like it. Arizona has struggled offensively in this series with a total of 2 runs. Outfield is straight away. The 0-1 pitch taken for a ball low and away. Parra already has won at the age of 25 2 Gold Gloves. He won one in left field, the other in right. That's how good he is defensively, and is defined by a tremendous, accurate, strong throwing arm.
And he kept the team, both teams, out on the field about 3 extra innings with his home run last night.
It was off of Carlos Martinez, and he drives this one into right field, and it's a leadoff base hit. A look at the Cardinals and a much improved defense here in 2014. Around the Horn, brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. With Holiday in left, the speedster Borges in center. Shane Robinson, first start since April 23rd. He's in right. Carpenter, Peralta, Ellis, and Craig along the infield. And Yadier Molina is behind the plate. Cardinals with a lefty they'll face tonight. Shane Robinson getting the start, Al, and his numbers in the minor leagues outstanding.
That's right. We just came back up. He was hitting .524, 11 for 21 against left-handed pitching, and he gets a start here tonight. And we talked about in spring training how much improved this Cardinal defense was going to be. Early in the season, they made liars out of us, but now it's starting to turn around, and we're seeing very good defense from the Cardinals.
Improved defense back at home, and good starting pitching. It's added up to winning baseball.
6-2 homestand. Boy, you got one more to go. 7-2 sounds a lot better, doesn't it?
Sure does. Garcia, Wainwright, and Kelly.
Garcia, I thought, made a very nice return coming off the disabled list for the shoulder surgery.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Yadier Molina, by the way, caught his 11th man last night trying to steal. And the last steal against Yadi was back on April 21st. The difference he makes is amazing.
It's not only that, you know, the caught stealing that he's had, but just how he shuts down a running game.
Up and in. 3 balls and no strikes. Bueno, I guess, trying to keep it loose inside that dugout. Three and one.
Matt Adams saying it's a lot easier when you play every day. You don't have to listen to Bueno.
Or watch the dances.
Right.
Or figure out how you're going to choreograph a dance with Adam Wainwright. He has a particular pregame dance with just about every player. 3-2. Let's see if they start the runner here.
And I saw a statistic that is hard for me to believe, but there has not been a stolen base attempt off of Lance Lynn.
Yeah. Big guy. You think maybe a little slower to the plate.
You know, but also the respect for Yadier Molina. And remember, Cruz caught him a lot also.
He is running, and the pitch is taken for ball 4. So a single and now a walk. And calling the balls and strikes tonight, Corey Blazer. Marvin Hudson is at first. Brian Onora, our crew chief, he's at second. Doug Eddings at third. I thought the umpires have done a very good job in this series.
Especially since the crew chief, Brian Onora, went down to illness. There he is. Remember, they gave us a report last night that he probably would be out day to day, but probably wouldn't return until this weekend. So good to see Brian back feeling better.
Brings in Paul Goldschmidt. Dangerous spot here in the first inning. One of the top hitters in the game. 20 doubles. That leads baseball. He has 61 hits. That leads Arizona. And batting .316 with 9 home runs. He's driven in 32.
Very good power.
And a base hit into right field. Robinson comes up firing, and the Diamondbacks held up the runner at third. I have no idea why. Parra scores, and the second runner there, that's Prado, didn't hesitate at all going around second base. Winds up at third, and that forced Parra to head to the plate and score the first run tonight.
Glenn Sherlock, there you see Dave McKay, but the third base coach, Glenn Sherlock, has really been around for a long time, but A little miscommunication, maybe because of nobody out, but they had a run right there. See, Parra comes around here, then he's held up. Now he sees that the throw goes to second base, so he scoots on home.
Here is Aaron Hill, batting .321 since the 23rd of April. So swinging a hot bat in the cleanup spot, the second baseman for the Diamondbacks.
Sat out about 3 games with a sore shoulder, but returned to action last night, and he's got a couple runners on.
So runners at the corners. 1 ball, 1 strike. Goldschmidt with the RBI, now up to 33, which ties him with Adrian Gonzalez for 4th in the league. Giancarlo Stanton of Miami with 44 already to lead the National League. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and third. Still nobody out here at the top of the first.
And Lance Lynn trying to find his strike zone right now, pitching behind the count a lot. He is ahead of Aaron Hill.
Remember, Lance Lynn was hit with a comebacker previous start against Chicago and wound up having one of his better starts here in 2014 and picked up a win.
Always seems like he pitches a little bit better with a little chip on his shoulder and maybe taking that one off his foot. Got him locked in and wanted to seek revenge.
A fly ball into right field. Runner from third will tag up. Robinson fires to the plate. It's a strike, but Yachty can't hold on. 2-0 Arizona.
Oh boy, nice throw from Shane Robinson. Shane's a very good outfielder. He can play all 3 outfield positions. You saw the strong throw there, and I'll tell you, if Yachty gets that throw 99 times out of 100, he receives it, and the Cardinals get their first out at the plate. Momentum coming forward, the strong throw, a 1 hop, and you just think that hop was maybe a little bit higher. Surprise Yachty as he's thinking how quickly he can get the tag down, and he misses the connection.
So 1 away. Goldschmidt the runner at first base. Here's A.J. Pollock, who's hitting .304. I don't know about you. I got to the ballpark and saw the lineup and was a bit surprised not to see Tony Cruz in there, as he and Lynn have had some success this season, and with the late game last night, thought maybe it'd be a good time for Tony Cruz.
You know my answer, because we had to talk about it, and I agree with you. But when do you rest Yadier Molina? He's your hottest hitter, obviously the best catcher, but Tony Cruz has only made 5 starts this entire year, and I'm going to say 3, if not 4 of those have been when Lance Lynn's been on the mound, and Yachty caught all 12 innings.
0-2 the count. One thing about Lance Lynn, it seems like the pattern has been, not every start, but a good portion, there is a big inning, and you wonder if this is the big inning tonight.
It always seems like that big inning would come a little later in the ball game,
exactly.
Not necessarily the first.
Good pitch in on the hands of the Diamondbacks center fielder A.J. Pollock.
I don't think there's any question that Yachty would have caught that ball. They would have been an out at the plate. Get a better look at that a little bit.
Bang bang play, but I'm with you. I think the tag would have been there. 0-2 again. Off speed pitch, taken low and away.
I remember Arizona lost 2 runners at home plate last night's game.
Relay by Holiday to Descalso to Yachty, saved the game. Make a case that was your play of the game.
That was in the 10th inning. So
many things have to happen and go right for that to work. Number one, Holiday to dig it out of the corner cleanly. Then to have a strong throw to Descalso to let him field it in a position to continue the momentum going towards home plate. And then the tag by Molina.
Even here at the big league level, most of the time if you ask defense.
Popped up. 2 down. Take a look if the runner, in this case Martin Prado, left early. Fox Sports in sync.
And obviously he does not leave early. As you saw him at the bag, comes on home, strong throw at one hop, and Yachty doesn't hold on. A very nice job by Shane Robinson. I was going to say, even at the major league level, when you ask the defense to be perfect or to execute, a lot of times they will not. And it is part of the job of a third base coach to get some guys thrown out at the plate. You just don't want that many. The great Jack Buck describing a third base coach one day, one of his classics, called the third base coach Dr. Kevorkian.
It's Tommy Reynolds, wasn't it?
Well, I didn't want to say it was Tommy Reynolds. He may be watching this game, probably in Arizona, but
he'd be laughing too.
But he got so many runners thrown out at home plate. The great Jack Buck called him Dr. Kevorkian.
1-1, sharply hit into right, sinking liner, drops in for a hit. And that's the third base hit for Arizona here in the first. That's the switch hitting Cliff Pennington. 2-0 Arizona, trying to add on.
Misses total location. Yachty wanted that ball in. It's away. You mentioned Pennington switch hitting, batting .455 right-handed, 170 left-handed. Add to it.
Miguel Montero has the night off for Arizona. Their backup catcher is here, Tuffy Gosewich, who's hitting .190 with a home run and 4 RBIs. 2 outs, 2 on here in the top of the first in a 2-run lead.
Good feel sorry with Tuffy, 30 years of age, 9 years in the minor leagues, and last year got a chance to break into the big leagues. They're a very good defensive catcher.
Here's the 0-1. Watch out.
And
make sure you protect Michael Walkup.
And it really doesn't hurt that Gosewich is the third ASU player to appear for the Diamondbacks. Remember Willie Bloomquist, Jake Elmore, and now Gosewich.
Here's the 0-2 pitch from Lance Lynn. We saw Michael Walker will have more on his health after taking a foul ball off the bat of Adams in the game last night. If you missed it, a liner. Walker sitting back in the dugout, hit off the wall behind him and hit his elbow, his pitching elbow. And Michael is saying that he's good to go for his next start. A strikeout for Lance Lynn. The Diamondbacks pick up 2. Martin Prado sliding home with his second run in the top of the first. 2-run lead for Arizona. A look at the Cardinals lineup with Matt Carpenter, Peter Bourjos, and Matt Holliday. Then it's Craig Molina, Peralta, Robinson, Ellis, and the pitcher Lance Lynn batting ninth. Cardinals face a left-hander tonight, and that's Wade Miley.
See his numbers on the year, and 2-0 on the road, much better. They say that this lefty's getting the ball up a lot more. Used to be a ground ball specialist, get a lot of double plays behind him, but this year a few more have been elevated. He has allowed 10 home runs, which is a little bit high. One of the things that the Arizona broadcasters like best about Miley is he's a good pitcher to have on the mound on getaway day. Works quickly.
First pitch taken by Matt Carpenter for a ball. Carpenter sitting 267, 1 home run, and he has driven in 15. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Cardinals are hitting .224 off of left-handed pitching. On our last road trip when we were in Atlanta, it was .199, so they are picking up the pace.
And Carpenter is hit by the pitch. How do they stack up defensively? Let's take a look for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Around the Horn brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Ed Searte, a speedster, great arm in left. Pollock also speed at center. Parr, we talked about him earlier. Prado, Pennington, Hill, and Goldschmidt, who won a Gold Glove a year ago. And Gosewich is behind the plate. Miley on the mound. Here's Peter Bourjos showing bunt and looks at strike 1. Bourjos, it's either been at the second spot in the lineup or the Cardinals drop him as far as 7 or 8. But leadoff man gets on. You would think Peter could put a lot of pressure on the defense with his speed and his ability to bunt. They have just hit it to a double play. 4-6-3.
Miley was the runner-up for the Rookie of the Year in 2012 as he burst onto the scene. 16-game winner that year.
Two outs, nobody on. Matt Holliday did a little bit of everything last night. Got on base late, scored the game-winning run. And he's 9 RBI shy of 1,000 for his career. He has 25 to lead the team. And Holliday hits it down the right field line and out of play.
Get to 1,000, you've had an outstanding career. Be the 17th active player to have 1,000.
Mention now the numbers are improving for the Cardinals against lefties. Well, they face Travis Wood, Mike Minor, Francisco Liriano, and those lefties went 1-2 with an ERA close to 8 against this lineup, so it has improved. Hit to second. Aaron Hill, a nice play, ranging to his right. Carpenter hit by the pitch, erased on a double play, and Holliday grounds out. We played an inning, 2-0. Top of the second rolls in. Inciarte, Miley, and Parra. We check in for the first time tonight with our good buddy Jim Hayes. And Jim, how about an update on Michael Wacha?
Danny's got a bruise behind his right elbow. He said initially after getting hit with that line drive, it was scary because the arm went numb on him. He said it started to feel better as the night went along, still better today. In fact, he told me as far as he's concerned, he's fine to make his next start. Wacha says he was a little hurt because that the other starters never sacrificed themselves to get in front of that line drive. Wacha says, Dan, he would have done it. And he said he learned a lot about his teammates because no one saved him.
And so, well, I don't know if they had much time to do that, though, Jim. It was a line shot off the bat of Adams.
He said initially he wanted to protect his face. It ricocheted and got him on the back of the elbow. And again, fear set in because that elbow went numb. But he's okay now, and he appears to be ready to make his next start.
How about Jason Mott making his season debut last night as Inciarte hits a ball too short. Could really get down the line. One away, but you know, you've got Michael Wacha, who's healthy. That's good news. And also Jason Mott from last night.
Yeah, Mott says he wanted to block out the emotion, so he pulled his cap down and ran out. But he told me he heard every bit of that ovation from Cardinal fans. He said it really touched him. As far as his 1 2/3 innings last night, he says he was pleased with it. He says his fastball was at 93, not 98, and he realizes he's got to spot his pitches because location, Dan, as you know, more important if your fastball isn't quite as fast as it used to be. He's hopeful velocity will come back. He just wants to be effective for now.
Here is Wade Miley in a broken bat that is hit to second for out number 2. What about his emotions last night, Jim, and talking about Jason Mott?
He actually said that if he didn't pull that cap down over his eyes and try his best to block it out, he might have teared up a little bit because he said the ovation was so great and it was such a long road back from his surgery and so much hard work went into it. But he was glad to be back out there and glad really that it went well and he got that first one out of the way, Dan.
Poirot with a single and a run scored in the first inning. 2 outs, nobody on. And then finally, Jim, Carlos Martinez. Where do the Cardinals stand with their hard-throwing right-hander who's hit a little bump in the road?
Yeah, 7 runs over his last 7 2/3. Mike Matheny was talking about him before the game, saying this is a young guy who's got such unbelievable stuff. He's never experienced getting hit around. Mike was asked if they plan to back off Martinez's role, and Mike says no, he's too good. He'll work his way through it, Dan.
Okay, thank you, Jim. And you can read more about Carlos Martinez at FoxSportsMidwest.com and an article up by Stan McNeil on our website, FoxSportsMidwest.com. 1-2.
Mentioned that Lance Lynn has problems with Parra. Parra, with his base hit tonight, is now 6 for 10 facing Lance Lynn. In that also is a double, 2 triples, and a home run.
Ground ball that's hit to short, and a 1-2-3 inning for the Cardinals right-hander with 3 groundouts. Phantom Cam as we head to break. Toyota, keys to the game.
Well, the Cardinals have been in this position, 3 other times, and they failed to sweep a series. And we also want to see Lance Lynn to kind of learn from what went right the last time, and we were referring to that ball that went off his leg.
Here's Alan Craig and a fly ball out to right center. Here's what you're talking about. One of your keys, having a chance to complete a sweep, and the Cardinals have had that opportunity already here in 2014 with the Reds, the Brewers, and the Braves. Let's see if they can do it tonight.
Yeah, just find that killer instinct someplace. Players are creatures of habit, and just with this 1 hour earlier start time, you wonder if Lance Lynn's pregame activities got a little bit askew.
Molina slowly hit, barehanded. What a play. Martin Prado. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Well, you can see why the broadcasters say that Miley is their dream for a getaway day, is because he doesn't waste any time, throws strikes, and his fielder, his defense is up to it. Monday with his great reach down there, catch it in the palm of your hand, and then all in one motion kind of let the ball roll down to your fingertips and throw on the run.
Talk about it all the time as Johnny Peralta digs in. The importance of working at a pace that keeps your defense involved. And certainly Wade Miley is a guy that has done that.
And very interesting, we talked about how the Cardinal defense is much improved. It's the opposite for Arizona. Last year they were outstanding defensive ball club, and this year they've had 37 errors and really have not helped their pitching staff with the defense.
2 balls and 1 strike on Johnny Peralta. 9 home runs. He's driven in 20. Came off the bench as a pinch hitter last night as Daniel Descalso made the start at shortstop. 2-2.
Peralta didn't have very good numbers at all against McCarty, the starter for Arizona, so he got the night off, and Daniel got a chance to get some at bats. Same thing with Ellis tonight. He has great numbers, so Wong gets to sit, and Mark Ellis will get a chance to face this left-hander.
According to Fangraphs, Miley's pace 3rd fastest in Major League Baseball behind R.A. Dickey and Mark Burley. R.A. Dickey, the Cy Young Award winner with the New York Mets, now with Toronto, and Burley with Toronto as well.
Knuckleballer, what does he have to think about?
Another great knuckleballer is in the ballpark tonight. Tom Candiotti works as the color man for Arizona. Their radio broadcast had a nice conversation with him about the knuckleball, and he said, I just wish there were more in the game today. He said, I think it's a pitch that can be taught. It's hard, but a pitch that can be taught and one that can be used to your advantage at this level.
What happens is most of the time guys start learning the knuckleball after they've hurt their arm or something. Very few guys pick it up in amateur ball. The Nico brothers, it was their dad that taught them the knuckleball. But it's so hard to control.
And it's a walk to Peralta. A 2-out walk. Had him 0-2 and lost him.
One thing, Miley's walks were up. The home runs were up. But you saw the first 4 batters, or after the Carpenter was hit by a pitch, how quickly he can get ground ball outs.
Shane Robinson. And Tim Wakefield, Charlie Huff, R.A. Dickey recently with Tom Candiotti. People forget Tim Wakefield was a power hitting prospect for the Pirates and then converted to a pitcher because they saw him playing catch and messing around with a knuckleball. It became an instant sensation in a postseason run for the Pirates, and then the following year he was awful.
I want to say, I think it was his very first game was against the Cardinals, and Ted Simmons was the GM of the Pirates, and he told me, now this is a real knuckleball pitcher.
There's a base hit into right off the bat of Shane Robinson.
Some guys might have it in their repertoire. They throw a knuckleball, but he threw it 99% of the time. Shane's not a big guy, but he loves the ball elevated. And he gets the start tonight based on his .524 average down in the minor leagues against left-handed pitching.
Brings in Mark Ellis. I talked to R.A. Dickey when he was with the Mets, and I said, who gave you the best advice? And he said Charlie Huff really took him under his wing. They said Charlie Huff taught him to go softer when things get worse. He said sometimes you have a tendency to get overly excited and you throw the ball harder, your movement is less. He said as things amp up, go softer, and that's when he said his career took off.
And you know, that's not bad advice for any guys, especially guys that are finesse pitchers, because it's only natural when you get excited, you tense up, try and throw the ball harder, it doesn't move.
Think about Greg Maddux when things would go awry, which was few and far between, but when it did, a lot of times it was off-speed pitches, pinpoint control, but he'd go softer.
Yeah, but he was just a master at dissecting a hitter's weakness and then being able to hit those spots and execute his pitches.
The 1-1.
Mentioned Mark Ellis has good numbers. He's 10 for 23 with 4 home runs against Wade Miley. Playing in the Western Division of the National League, he got to see him a lot.
Lance Lynn is on deck, and here's a 2-1 pitch to Mark Ellis. Hit out of play.
Got to be careful if you're Mark Ellis that you don't want to expand your zone or too much with a pitcher on deck and 2 outs.
2 on and a 2-run lead. And here comes a 2-2 pitch. Spoiled by Ellis. Learning to be a player that is coming off the bench. Not an easy thing to do, as Ellis has been an everyday player primarily in his career. And when he signed here with St. Louis, he knew this very well could be his role.
And he also knew he had a chance to go to the World Series by joining the Cardinals.
3-2. Runners off with this pitch.
It's really, you know, you've got to know with a pitcher on deck, you know, maybe expand a little bit, but not too much.
Outfield is shallow. Robinson, the runner at first. Peralta at second. There they go. And the pitch is taken high and outside for ball 4. And the bases are loaded for St. Louis. Time now for you to tweet your photo using the hashtag STLFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Miley got the first 2 on 2 pitches. Then a walk, a single to right. Then another walk, and a chance for Lance Lynn, who's hitting .063.
I get a feeling that Miley was not that concerned with the walk to Ellis with 2 outs and bringing up the light hitting Lance Lynn.
Here's the 0-1. Now it's 0-2. Big gap in left center if he can put the ball in play.
1 RBI this year. He's 1 for 16.
That was in Washington against the Nationals. The 0-2. Foul back and a good cut.
Yeah, a little shortened up a little bit. Just try to punch that ball to the right side.
He really has shortened up his swing, and I think Shelby Miller has as well. We've talked about how Wainwright has changed his stance. That has paid dividends, but it is a shorter stroke for Lance Lynn. 0-2, he puts it in play. Hit to short, and a force play at second. The Cardinals strand, the bases loaded. And after 2-0 Arizona. Top of the third, and home plate here at Busch Stadium has been a busy place last couple of games.
Yeah, the object is, can you touch that home plate? Here they have the safety squeeze. Nope, he's denied by a great play for the defense. How about this defensive play? Good relay from Descalzo. Nice tag by Yachty. They denied twice, and the Cardinals, they touch home plate with a game winner. A wild throw, and the Cardinals win 3-2. And then tonight, it's Arizona who touches home plate first, as Yachty couldn't hold on to that relay throw.
How about the walk-off wins in this homestand for St. Louis? One against Chicago when Greg Garcia is hit by a pitch, and then last night a walk-off win thanks to an error.
And then yesterday you had the walk-off balk in Cleveland.
Right. There's a base hit into right field off the bat of Martin Prado, on base for the second time. Walk, run scored, now a single. Saturday, a full day of Major League Baseball action, beginning with the Rangers taking on the Tigers on Fox Sports 1. Then it's the season premiere of Baseball Night in America on Fox. The Cards and the Reds MLB doubleheader begins Saturday at 2:30. First game on Fox Sports 1. Then Cards and Reds at 6, only on Fox. This is hit a mile high down the right field line, foul territory, and Shane Robinson puts it away off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt.
Get that first out in any inning is very important, but when you got a man on and you've got a home run hitter, a threat at home plate, it's a big pitch right there, getting the first out here in the third inning.
Here's Aaron Hill, sac fly RBI, his 23rd. Aaron Hill, a former Silver Slugger Award winner while with Toronto, second baseman, and a good one. Lynn would love a double play and send his team back to the dish. Fun game last night. Extra innings. Cardinals win it. And Michael Wacha, always interesting to see what he may do every fifth day. And then talked about the plays at the home plate. The return of Jason Mott.
There's a lot of good things in that ball game, and it's a good thing the Cardinals won. You know, Wacha, 6 shutout innings, and then gets knocked out by the foul ball that hits him sitting in the dugout on the elbow. Cardinals had base runners all over the place, but just couldn't get that timely hitting.
A fly ball into center. Peter Borges. 2 down. Saturday, May 31st. It's about the kids. The Adam Wainwright jersey. That's a kid's jersey right there. He's trying to put it on. He didn't realize it's a kid's jersey. Are you serious? Is he just saying this to look like a good guy? Or she said, I'll tell you what, the minute that I never heard him complain, he's a man of faith, and he said it's just the way it's supposed to be, and I'll get healthy, move back.
Oh, I was confused because I was thinking strictly on a baseball term, but as soon as you explained it, you know, then it triggered that he is a player, and the Cardinals have many of them that really get it. They understand that they have power to help a lot of people that need help, and he's done a lot with an awful lot of cancer patients.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Matter of fact, he has 30 players, one from each team, who are participating this year. 108stitches.com. And it's the strikeout cancer t-shirts that you may see that Jason is wearing and some of his teammates, but Miguel Montero is joining the battle in the fight against cancer. It's really neat what he's been able to do. Raise thousands of dollars. Here's a 1-2 on the outside corner and a strikeout for Lance Lynn. For Lynn, his second strikeout tonight. Catches the corner. The Cardinals have the top of their lineup due up. They trail 2-0 midway through 3. Anywhere with AT&T Uverse, mobilizing your world. And by Schnucks, your neighborhood hometown grocer for 75 years. It's been great using that camera that allows us to go throughout the ballpark as Matt Carpenter looks at a strike and a chance to see behind the scenes here at Busch Stadium. It's really filled up. The early start tonight at 6:15. And a ground ball that's hit to the right side. Goldschmidt, Gold Glove winner a year ago, takes it. There's Phil Nickel. And his right shoulder by the end of a 9-game homestand. Well, let's just say he's not throwing BP.
Mentioned all the great work that Jason Mott's doing to help cancer patients. Well, Wade Miley has got one of his best friends, a childhood friend, Johnny Santangelo III, calls him Little Man, that got a phone call that his best friend growing up has got cancer. Said it was inoperable, and Wade wasn't satisfied with that. Brought him to Arizona to deal with some of the specialists out there, and they've operated on him. He's been taking chemo, but Wade has opened up his home to not only Johnny, but to his mom and dad and his fiance, and they've been staying with him through all the recovery time. His hair is starting to grow back. Miley even shaved his head in honor of his buddy.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Peter Borges grounded into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up.
Outfielder's not very deep.
Lined into left center field. He's off to the races. Watch him fly. On his way to second base. He'll stop there.
This outfield can play a little more shallow because they have great speed and good throwing arms. That ball off the bat was headed for the gap. You knew it was going to get to the wall, And because of Borges' speed, we were thinking the possibility of a triple. He has 2 of them this year. By the way, he's tied with Matt Adams for the team lead with 2. But here it just rifles it out there into left center. Pollock gets to it quickly, but it is fun to watch Peter Borges pick him up and lay him down.
Well, Matt Holliday got to St. Louis July 24th of 2009. And since that time, he has 454 RBIs, most in the National League, most among outfielders in all of baseball, and 6th most overall in Major League Baseball. So sometimes when you think that this guy is not clutch,
oh yeah,
no sir, may want to rethink that.
Second in the National League this year with game-winning RBIs.
And a ground ball that's hit to short. Borges stays put. And now the reason I went back and looked at those numbers is thinking about what he did late in the game last night. I don't think he gets enough credit sometimes among the fan base. Number one, for his defense that has improved this year, but also he has put up big numbers and played just about every day since he was signed to that long-term deal.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the bumps and bruises. You know, he gets hit by pitches and may knock somebody out for a couple days, but he's out there every single day. And think about that, you know, the throw he made, and then the Descalzo relay that saved the game, extended it to the 11th inning when eventually they won in 12. But he had, you know, he had to go quite a ways to his right and get that ball off the wall. And so it just wasn't, you know, he's not just a stationary left fielder. You know, we've seen him make a lot of nice plays in foul territory. We've seen him going over the shoulder catches towards center field.
With the most RBIs since he was acquired in the National League. And by the way, since that time, as Craig is evened it up 1 ball, 1 strike, Matt Holliday hitting .309 with runners in scoring position. So the numbers bear out. He's had a pretty strong start to his Cardinal career. Here's a 1-1. Craig hits it out of play. With an early start here at Busch Stadium, it's always of concern for the right fielder. You see the batting averages on the upswing for Molina, Adams, Craig, and Carpenter.
That's since May 15th. So this offense is starting to fulfill our expectations.
Right now it is just about 7:10 in St. Louis. Normal game time 7:15. Right fielder is Parra, and the sun was blocked by the clouds for a good 45 minutes or so, so that did not become an issue.
As Miley is such a ground ball pitcher, they can play in front a little bit. They have to play more shallow, and so it doesn't look like the sun is an issue at all for Parra.
Here's a 3-2 pitch with Peter Borges at second base. And a strikeout of Craig. Caught looking. Follow every Cardinals game, MLB.com at bat, your favorite mobile phone or tablet. You can get that at Cardinals.com. Top of the fourth rolls in, 2-0 Arizona. Here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. We'll be in Cincinnati tomorrow night. Good matchup, Shelby Miller and Homer Bailey. Shelby has won a career best 6 straight.
Hey, you take away the first 3 batters in this game, and Lance Lynn's did a nice job.
Strike at the knees to Cliff Pennington, the switch hitter, single to right back in the first inning. In the air, out to deep right center. Robinson won't get there. One hop over the wall and a ground rule double.
Pennington came in batting .170, and now he's 2 for 2 off of Lance Lynn in this game. Three or 4 innings, the leadoff man has reached base off of Lance Lynn. This ball, ground rule double. One hops the wall.
Tuffy Gosewicz struck out first time up. Takes a ball high and away.
Tuffy played a few years with Bob Brenly's son in the Red Sox organization. 9 years in the minor leagues. Finally got to the big leagues for a little bit last season.
It's bunted in the air. Lynn late to cover the bag and safe. Lance got a late start going to first base, and it's a base hit. The first 2 have reached.
Just bad enough bunt, it becomes very effective as he got it past the pitcher to the right of the first baseman and well in front of Ellis, the second baseman.
But you'll see a hesitation with Lynn.
Yeah. I think he goes out there. You see he starts to go, and by the time he tried to catch up, it was too late. Pretty good connection right there just to catch that ball and try and reach down and step on the bag and avert the runner. Could have been a collision there, but pressure on the Cardinal defense now.
Ender and CRT. Grounded out to short first time up. Hits from the left side, so if you think about a squeeze, much tougher if they wanted to do this. A left-handed batter.
Yeah, right-handed pitchers looking right at the base runner, so he's not surprised, and then you can throw that ball up the third base line, and a batter can't really do much to protect it. Just kind of throw the bat at it, so you normally don't put squeezes on with left-handed batters. Last night they tried a safety squeeze that didn't work.
One and two. Had people on Twitter ask me, Al, to ask you the difference between a safety squeeze and a suicide.
Real simple. You know, when a suicide is as soon as the pitcher releases the ball, you're racing home. On a safety squeeze, you're taking your secondary lead. If the batter bunts the ball, then you take off.
Just missed. 2-2. Lynn shaking his head. He thought he had strike 3. Let's take a look at Chevy Foxtrax. He did have strike 3.
Quite a bit of the strike zone, too. Can't let one pitch affect the outcome of a game.
And that time he got him as Yachty holds on. Chance for Lynn to get out of this jam. You have Wade Miley, the pitcher, coming up. Then the top of the lineup. Runners at first and third, one out. Third strikeout for Lynn.
See a good explosive fastball as he throws it right by the youngster. Every time you get an out, You know, you get that strikeout with runners on the corners, you kind of puff your chest up. You're thinking like, okay, now I got the pitcher up, respect him, but know I can dominate against him and keep this a 2-0 game.
Strike one.
Not sure that was a safety squeeze. A big little example that the runner at third not running home, he has a prerogative to come home if the bunt gets down. You know, they're talking third base coach and runner. Did I miss a sign? Did I miss something there?
The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There's a couple times Pennington has really come down the line, the third base line, very aggressively. What he's kind of done is earlier in the last at bat, Carpenter was well in on the grass, and so the runner knew that he couldn't get back, so he was watching how far he was off the line.
The throw to third and back in safely.
Pennington slipped when he put on the brakes, and that's what almost made that play happen for the Cardinals. You saw the slip, throws to the infield side. If it's right on the line, they might have had him there. You see Pennington go back to the foul territory, trying to avoid the tag.
Just missed. Home plate umpire Corey Blazer. Not a lot of experience. Joined the major league staff this year. First major league game was in 2010.
How many years in the minor leagues?
A lot of years.
Yeah.
Miley waves at it. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Dan, Al, Jim with you. How happy Jim is in that photo. Hey, everybody. Corey began umpiring at the age of 15 as a summer job, and that's how many umpires begin.
Some of them might have been players, high school, college, but a lot of them got their start in amateur baseball. You make a nice living at the big league level now, but there's a lot of years of hard travel just to live out their dream.
And a ground ball slowly hit to the right side. Lynn is there. Parra retired. First and third, nobody out. Back-to-back Ks and a ground out. Lynn out of the jam. Your smartphone right now. Get a free large sandwich with any purchase just for downloading. Great to have one of our executive producers, Max Line One, who decided to stop by the booth, and I'll tell you what, he has gotten to be big time and corporate. First time I've ever seen him wear a tie. It does a great job for us.
I'm still stunned.
You're stunned. Speechless.
Stunned.
Tim Trokey and Brad Straubinger, Larry Mago, our crew behind the scenes that make this all go. And the men and women of our crew really worked hard over the weekend and setting up over at Ballpark Village.
Did Brad call you today and chew you out?
He did not, as Molina looks at a strike, and I'm assuming you're alluding to me potentially spoiling the mystery guest.
Absolutely.
I never said it's for sure going to be Scott Spiezio. However, I gave a lot of hints that would probably lead you to believe it was going to be Scott Spiezio. And it was Scott Spiezio.
And it was.
He looks good.
Scott, upstate Illinois. So you're watching the broadcast an awful lot. Seems like he's doing very, very well, and we're happy for that.
Here's the 0-2. Grounded to second. Tricky hop for Aaron Hill as he makes the play.
Now they want to go up the ladder. You see the catcher standing high. Works at the bottom of the strike zone, but there he tries to go up, and Yachty hits down on the ball, but to no avail. Aaron Hill's pretty good defensively, isn't
he? He is. Here's Johnny Peralta. Mentioned this the other night. You project the numbers out for Peralta. Not a bad year at all, and much better production from the shortstop position for the St. Louis Cardinals than we saw a year ago. He is second in home runs among major league shortstops, 8th in RBIs, tied for 3rd in extra base hits with 19 among all major league shortstops.
He would just be having a tremendous year as a shortstop in the National League if Tulowitzki was. Not that Tulowitzki, we all know he is extremely capable when he's healthy, and obviously the Colorado shortstop is healthy this year and just on fire.
And a base hit over the glove of Pennington into left field. Brings in Shane Robinson, who singled to right. Friday, May 30th, celebrate the kickoff to summer with an exclusive Cardinals beach towel. 25,000 fans entering with a ticket can proudly showcase their Cardinals pride at the pool or beach all summer long. All kids receive a ticket voucher valid for an upcoming Cardinals game. Get yours, cardinals.com/promotions.
And Shane was hitting left-handed pitching very well at Memphis, but he's also had success against Wade Miley in the past. He's 1 for 1 tonight, and that makes him 4 for 7 against the Arizona starter in his brief career. An outstanding collegiate career at Florida State.
Two balls and 1 strike. Cardinals have interleague play coming up on the road. Series of games, and you could see where the Cardinals would dip back into the minor leagues, and because of the DH, potentially look at an Oscar Taveras or Randall Grichuk, maybe even Shane Robinson. Miley makes the play out at second, on to first, safe.
Heard Gibson may challenge this call at first base as the Arizona manager is coming over here. Looked like he wasn't sure who was covering, and the return throw a little bit offline. Bang bang play at first base, and Gibby finally gets there.
Ooh.
Once again, Dan, it's kind of that tough thing is when does the ball really go into the palm of the glove? I think he was safe, and it looks like Kirk Gibson is satisfied also.
Kirk Gibson, a former wide receiver at Michigan State and drafted by the St. Louis Football Cardinals.
Fierce competitor.
So he meets with Tony La Russa and he says, Tony, you ever replay 88, bud?
Well, I know Tony's got a special place for him. May not be in his heart.
And a fly ball near the right field line, and the catch made by Parra. We head to the fifth, 2-0 Arizona. You enjoyed the pregame segment outside the studio, showing us the relay from Holiday to Descalso to Molina. They broke that down in the pregame show, and we also had our first edition of Rick's Rants. Boy, was he hot.
Sometimes we have a hard time picturing Ricky getting upset and ranting.
If you watch a pregame show,
he was ranting.
He was. Martin Prado, 2 balls and no strikes.
Old school versus new school.
Pretty fired up, wasn't he? Three and one. Only bump in the road for Lance Lynn for the most part tonight was in the first inning when the first 3 would reach. Gave up 2 runs and pitched out of a big time jam in the 4th. Runners at first and third, nobody out, and no runs allowed. The 3-1 pitch hit out of play.
After the last inning, 3 of the 4 innings, he's allowed the leadoff man to reach base. That just makes it that much more difficult for him. The only time they were able to dent the scoreboard was in the first.
And a ground ball that Peralta has to charge. Thought about barehanding it, and out at first. That ball may have changed directions a bit on Peralta. I thought he was going from the bare hand potentially back to the glove. but it may have hit the mound. Let's take a look.
Watch the mound. It'll hit the mound, and then instead of going straight back, it kind of kicked towards the shortstop. But it really slowed it up, so it really came in and made it a much more difficult play for him. And a good, strong throw on the run, and they do get him.
Kirk Gibson out again. Okay, let's talk it over. Then I'm going to look into my dugout. Somebody's going to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's Alan Trammell, who's a great player in his own right.
Well, I know, but Gibby might torture Trammell or somebody for making him run twice.
Said,
he was a little quicker in his day.
Multiple knee surgeries for Kirk Gibson.
Look at what are you trying
recently.
to do? What are you trying to do to me?
Here's Paul Goldschmidt. RBI single is also flied out to right field. Goldschmidt, and you alluded to this in game one, they love his makeup. Well, he earned a bachelor's of science degree in management, and he took online classes to finish up his college degree. And because of that, he donates 3 scholarships fully paid every year. And it's not just him donating the money and his name. He's actually part of that selection process of who gets the scholarships. He'll interview the candidates. Once they narrow it down, they'll come to a ball game. He'll hand them a check, and they're off to college.
And you know that he hasn't been in the league that long either. You know, he did sign a very big, lucrative contract, but it's not like he's been making money for 10-15 years. Last year, he finished second in the MVP balloting. Also won a Gold Glove, Silver Slugger Award, and was the National League Mel Ott Award, most National League home runs. He tied that with 36.
Good pitch, late movement there, down and in from Lance Lynn. What's on tap? We're in Cincinnati tomorrow night, and game one of that 3-game set will be seen on Fox Sports Midwest. It is Shelby Miller and Homer Bailey. Mentioned earlier, Shelby has won a career best 6 straight. The last to win 6 straight was the man on the mound, Lance Lynn. The Cardinals starters are starting to rack up the victories. They have 22, and that's most in the major leagues.
Most of the major leagues, you know, so 22 with 25, 3 out of the bullpen. Seth Main has picked up his 2nd win. You know who's got more than Lance Lynn?
Joe Kelly.
Joe Kelly had 8.
Remember, he had a good string.
Boy, I tell you what. Think about when Joe Kelly comes back to this ball club.
Aaron Hill taps it foul. Lance Lynn with the strikeout of Goldschmidt.
Cardinals
have
have
5 tonight.
2 starters on the disabled list, and think about how strong that rotation could be when you get those 2 guys, Lyons and Kelly, back. Something's got to give.
Diving stop at first by Alan Craig. A flip to Lynn. Nicely done. The outfielder and first baseman, Alan Craig. We're midway through 5. Lynn leads it off when we come back. Cardinals host the Giants, and you can cheer on the Redbirds with fellow Fighting Illini fans, students, and alumni. All fans purchasing the Illini Night theme ticket receive an exclusive Illinois-themed Cardinals cap. Illini Night, those theme tickets only at cardinals.com/theme. They have theme nights throughout the season. There's something for you. Beautiful night here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. We'll be back on Monday with the Yankees in town Memorial Day. As Lance Lynn looks at a strike.
I think we could petition the league to always have road trips last 3 days.
Oh. It was a tough way to start this season, boy.
But we knew once we got through that rough stretch where the vast majority of the games, what was it, 26 road games, 12 home games, that the Cardinals would have a chance to make up and get a lot of home cooking, and they've taken advantage of it. First part of this, 19 out of 22 at home, the Cardinals were 6-2. But as our key, our Toyota key, is you want to sweep this one.
Late swing by Lance Lynn. Strikeout number 2. Monday, special 1-hour pregame show. And that will begin at 2. We'll salute the 64 World Championship team. Many of those players have agreed to come back, and you'll hear from them. And we hope that Bob Gibson will join us in the booth during the game. Strike 2, Carpenter.
Mike Shannon, a big part of that success in the 60s.
Chip Jackson there on the left, a man that keeps it all together. That's hit to short. Pennington. Carpenter is 0 for 2. In steps Peter Borges.
Peter bounced into a double play the first time up. Second time he rifled one into left center field gap. Got a double.
Mike Matheny's used a lot of different combinations this season, Al, with his lineup. To make that much of a difference, in your opinion?
Well, I think he's trying to find one that really works.
And that liner is caught by Parra. We head to the 6th. 2-0 Arizona. Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Try the new Jack's Blazin' Chicken Sandwich. It's Jack's hottest sandwich yet. And find a helpful servicing steel dealer near you. Visit steeldealers.com. Very pleasant night here at the ballpark. It's Pollock, Pennington, and Gosewich. Jason Mott is animated as we have seen in that dugout, pacing back and forth in between innings as he recorded 2 outs, 7 pitches, went back out for another inning. And even when he was not active, still a very big part of this this team and the bullpen. Keeps things light, fun to be around. A.J. Pollock in a ground ball that's hit to third.
Boy, it looked like Carpenter, when he went to throw that ball, his cleat caught or something, but got it over there okay.
Brings in Pennington, who's 2 for 2.
A weighted ball right there, strengthening the wrist. Yeah, the
shoulder, right?
Yeah, shoulder, you can see there, but follow through. Get that final little whip, you know, coming off the, when you're throwing really free and easy. You know, a pitcher will describe it as like the ball, you just very easy motion and the ball just jumps out of your hand. That's what you're always trying to achieve. Every time you try to muscle up or throw it, it doesn't move and your velocity will be decreased also.
6th inning, they begin their routine. Jason Mott, velocity not at what we are accustomed to seeing, the 98, the 99, but still getting better each and every day. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how hard he'll be throwing by the end of the season. More so with him than maybe any other guy out there, just because he relies so much on the fastball.
Yeah, and you know, you talk to anybody that coming off that Tommy John, once they are activated, their velocity does stay down for that, usually that first year. But being a reliever, I think he has a chance to get it back quicker. But it really is not fair to judge his velocity until maybe September, and probably even more realistic until next year. And as he says, he thinks he can pitch with decreased velocity by making execution of his pitches.
Off-speed pitch, Craig to Lynn. Out number 2. You know, when you're throwing though 97, 98, 99, and you miss location, you can get away with it.
Yes. And remember, he was working on a sinker. He's working on a cutter, throwing those secondary pitches. So, in his mind, and that's really what's most important, he believes he can still get major league hitters out. If he doesn't believe it, it'll never happen.
Tuffy Gosewich is struck out and then bunted and reached base back in the 4th.
Lynn's retired 8 in a row.
He's given up 6 hits tonight. 1 walk. He has struck out 5.
And 3 of those hits were in the first inning, along with a walk.
2-0. Miami beat the Phillies today by the score of 4-3. Tampa Bay over Oakland 5-2. Toronto beat Boston 7-2. And there's a liner into left, and Holiday can't come up with it.
That does a nice job to keep it from getting by him, and then trying to make the sliding catch. Big body, that ball's got to go through, and short hops him, hit the glove, hit, kind of looked like the arm part of the body. Smothered it with his elbow. Throw that ball out, it's dented.
Strike 1 on the 8th place hitter, left fielder Ender Enciarte.
Mentioned that he was selected by Philadelphia in the Rule 5 draft. So you either have to keep him at the big league roster all year or offer him back at half the price. It used to be $50,000, so you offer him back at $25,000, and they took him back.
0-2.
They say he's a very fast, speedy runner. Had the best outfield arm in their system. Best base runner.
And a strikeout, number 6 tonight for Lance Lynn. Big bats due up. Holiday, Craig, and Molina here at Busch. June 1st, kids 48 inches and under, come on down to the ballpark. You'll receive a free ticket to Six Flags, valid for a weekday visit until July 1st. Kids will also receive a ticket voucher, and that's valid for an upcoming Cardinals game. So 2 for 1. Cardinals.com/promotions for tickets. It's also an ice cream sundae. Kids can run the bases that day, and that is June 1st. It's Holiday, Craig, and Molina. Cardinals trail 2-0. Wade Miley has allowed just 3 hits. Final point about Holiday and what he's meant to the Cardinals, Al, since he was acquired, and just doing some numbers this afternoon, preparation for the telecast, but he's also been dependable. I mean, He has played a ton of games compared to many of the outfielders in baseball.
Takes very good care of himself. He's been banged up, but nothing that's kept him out of that lineup more than a day or two.
He has played, including tonight, since he was acquired, in 689 games as a Cardinal. And only Pence, Suzuki, Markakis, Upton have played in more games as a corner outfielder in Major League Baseball since that time. And he rips it foul. His average as a Cardinal is .309. There's only been 4 better with runners in scoring position. And I've mentioned before, the most RBIs since he was acquired in all of baseball, or rather the National League. A check swing.
And Dan, you love the fact that he and his wife Leslie have now taken up residency here in St. Louis. They've gotten very involved in numerous charities, and he's really part of the community.
Fans see him very stoic in the post-game interviews and all business, but he is a funny guy too. Line drive into right, and Parra makes that catch. Hitless tonight, 0 for 3. So Wade Miley and Lance Lynn, pretty similar when you think about when they began their careers, the starts, the ERA, and the WHIP. Very similar between Miley and Lance Lynn. Lynn, of course, began his career in the bullpen for St. Louis. Did make a spot starter too, and was not a full-time starter until 2012. As Alec Craig takes a ball inside. He struck out looking and has also flied out to right center 0 for 2.
They both came up in 2011, and as you said, that really they both became fixtures in the rotation in 2012. Miley was second in the National League Rookie of the Year balloting 2012. The Sporting News picked him as their winner, but Baseball Writers had him second. That was the Bryce Harper who won it that year.
Up the middle and off the glove of Aaron Hill.
We talked about earlier, a tricky last hop for Aaron Hill that he made the play earlier. This time goes off his glove. Got to take a look at it. Set up away. Off-speed pitch right off the end of the bat. Hits that mound, but here's that kind of the hop came up on him and hits him in the heel of the glove.
Still no ruling on the play.
Well, very simply, it should be an error.
And if it is, it would be his third. Here's Yadier Molina. Molina 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts.
And they do score an error.
I wonder if Mike Matheny, with the lack of offense tonight, potential double play candidate in Yadier Molina, would think about a hit and run.
Remember we were talking earlier about Lance Lynn, you know, that nobody's attempted to steal off of him. Well, the same for Miley. They are one of 8 pitchers that nobody's attempted to steal. But you would think with the ground ball pitcher like Miley that you would have some runners in motion. And here's a good double play candidate at the plate, but he's also a good hit and run man.
I could understand that though with Miley, because he's quick to the plate, lefty, good move, and you've got Montero 4 times and not behind the plate, good defensively. But I think with Lance Lynn, a bit surprising, but it is the Yadier Molina factor.
And we even said too that Tony Cruz has got 3 or 4 of Lance Lynn's starts, and nobody runs off him that time too. When you look at Miley, you mentioned that he's quick to the plate, doesn't waste a lot of time, but some guys, when they slide step, it looks foreign. When Miley does it, it looks very natural, and a base runner just doesn't feel comfortable. Ball pitchers throw a lot of sinkers, and they'll get a lot of foul balls off a batter's foot.
Yadier Molina perfecting his craft. Major League Baseball rankings and just getting better and better. And this is why he has become an MVP candidate. We all know about the defense, the 6 consecutive Gold Gloves. But amazing how he has improved with what he's done at the plate. And Al, when you think about him progressing in the minor leagues, traditionally it's your bat that advances you from A ball to Double A and so on and so forth. For Molina, the non-traditional way of his glove. He was such an exceptional defensive player that it was his defense that moved him up, so his bat and his offense was always catching up.
And that makes total sense too, to think too, because you get up here and all they're going to stress is you have to work that pitching staff. You've got to be in their head. You've got to lead them. You've got to guide them. You've got to do all these different things, and they never even allow you to think offensively. So as he has matured as that major league catcher, win Gold Gloves, all of a sudden you the offense comes with it.
Miley has struck out 3 tonight. He's got Craig, Molina, and Lynn. It brings in Johnny Peralta, who is walked and singled. AT&T fan photo. And Amy says, hello. Johnny Peralta. And he can tie it up with one swing of the bat.
Now, in Craig's perspective, he can sit here. See how low Miley just barely breaks that front leg up. The guys you want to steal off, they bring that leg up, and it's more than waist high, slows down their delivery to the plate. But he doesn't give you very much time.
That's ripped down the left field line. Fair ball into the corner. Craig on his way to third. He'll stop there. The tying run's in scoring position. Another extra base hit for Johnny Peralta. He has been red hot in the month of May. 2 for 2 tonight with a walk, as that was played very well by the left fielder, Inciarte.
Inciarte, not only does he play this ball to Karen perfectly, but he's got a strong throwing arm, and once again with 2 outs, it just really not the opportunity for Jose Oquendo, a very aggressive third base coach, but he can't send Alan Craig and run him right into an out. So Shane Robinson, who because of his success against Miley and while he was down at AAA, hit over 500 against left-handed pitching, is rewarded with this at bat.
Runners at second and third.
He's 4 for 8 against Miley in his career.
Some pitchers will go back to working out of the windup in this spot. Miley electing to work from the stretch. He's had 87 pitches thus far. Robinson with a fly ball into left center. Will it get down? It will. This game is tied. Robinson on his way to second. He's tied it up, and it's 2-2.
First 2 RBIs of the year for Shane Robinson. Wasn't getting much playing time. They sent him down for a couple weeks to Memphis. He tore up AAA pitching, particularly left-handed pitching, and he gets rewarded with a call-up yesterday. He gets the start today, and he's been a difference maker. One thing, Dan, I was looking at Miley, and he's pitched very, very well, but basically a 6th-inning pitcher, and today he's struggling to get through the 6th inning.
Miley is due up first for the Diamondbacks. Looking ahead to the 7th, we're tied up 2-2, bottom half of the 6th, and 10 of the last 11 runs scored have come with 2 outs.
You know, the only one that did not was the game winner last night. The errant throw.
Ellis has walked, flied out to right, and they will elect to walk Mark Ellis and then let Mike Matheny make a decision on what he wants to do with Lance Lynn. And quickly, Pat Neshek starts firing in the bullpen. And I mean, he just got up and just started whipping it out there in the bullpen. So you would think when you see that, they're going to pinch hit here for Lance Lynn.
And Dan, as a reliever, you've got to sit down there and you've got to assume that you could just come up. You know, if you got called in, you could go out there and pitch on the mound with your 8 warm-up pitches. You would think that way. It'll never happen. And you can get 15 or 20 pitches down there anyway. And he's got plenty of time now that with the selection, and they call him back Lance Lynn. John Jay Wong and Descalzo went down there, but you have to assume John Jay was down there getting ready.
Fox Sports Midwest supporting the Clayton Stair Climb, a tribute to New York firefighters who died on 9/11. September 7th, you can join with area firefighters to climb 110 flights of stairs. Great charity, incredible event. I was there last year. ClaytonStairClimb.com. Please become involved. Cardinals on their bench tonight, basically all left-handed because the backup catcher is the only right-handed bat off the bench. That's Tony Cruz. So you've got Wong, Jay, Adams, Descalso to go for this spot. Mike Matheny saying, let's go for it right here.
Sometimes you do that. Lance Lynn gave you the 6 good innings.
The strike to Jay. So he'll elect to go with the lefty-lefty matchup. Lance Lynn, 6 innings, 2 runs, 7 hits, walked 1, struck out 6, 89 pitches. Here's the 0-1. Slow roller, right side, race to the bag. Goldschmidt ends the threat for St. Louis, but the Cardinals, behind Shane Robinson's first 2 RBIs, they've tied it up. It's a brand new game here at Busch Stadium. A 2-out double for Sugar Shane. 2-2 here at Busch. And it's a 2-2 game. Our Nissan drive of the game. Just enough off the bat of Shane Robinson. The speed of Pollock, he almost caught up with it.
And you saw that he was trying to close the gap, trying to go for the catch, and then at the last second he knew that he wouldn't make it, so he veered towards the wall, but not before the game is tied. How about Pat Neshek? His 23rd appearance, and you see that 0.95. Just 8 hits allowed in 19 innings, 3 walks, and he's more than a strikeout per inning. He's allowed 1 home run, but 2 earned runs all season long, and he's on a nice little scoreless streak right now.
His opponent's hitting 127 against him, .95 ERA. Wade Miley still in the game and hitting for himself as Kirk Gibson will try to squeeze 1 more inning out of his lefty starter at least. 2-2 here in the 7th inning. It's Miley, Parra, and then Martin Prado.
Neshek has gone 17 games, 14 2/3 innings shutout. Dates back to April the 9th.
Now he's allowed a total of 2 earned runs this year.
Yeah,
that's it.
And 1 came on a home run, and I'm not sure if the other one did too, but I have lobbied to see Neshek maybe take some of those pressure innings away from a Martinez, a Segrist, or sometimes just keep him in the game longer.
Ground ball, right side. Neshek steps on the bag for out number 1. Here's Parra. A single to right, scored back in the first. That's when the Diamondbacks got there too. RBI single by Goldschmidt, sac fly by Aaron Hill, and a 2-run lead. Then moments ago, the Cardinals tied it up. Parra's also grounded out to short, grounded to first, 1 for 3 tonight.
Parra, good little player, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Only 25. Fox Sports Midwest Live inside Ballpark Village. That'll be buzzing tonight. Here's the 0-1.
How about over the weekend when the Cardinals were in Cincinnati? Great place to watch the game with your family and friends.
Something that some fans ask me about all the time is, what do you do at Ballpark Village when the team's out of town? Well, it's always open. They've got music and bands and all kinds of things. Just head to the website to see the schedule of events. The 0-2. And he waves at it and strikes out. Neshek has struck out 22 in 19 2/3 innings. Next time you're looking to pick up seats to the game, head to StubHub. You can earn 2% back in fan rewards on every purchase, including Cardinals tickets. Plus, with all-in pricing, there are no surprise fees at checkout. StubHub, it's your ticket to upgrades and more. Martin Prado. Walked and scored. Single to right, grounded out to short. For a while, Al, the way that things were going for the Cardinals and starters not going deep, starting to wonder if Mike Matheny would lean on Pat Neshek and maybe some others to give the club multiple innings. You never know, that may happen here tonight.
Yeah, and I think Pat's one of those guys that can do that. And yeah, maybe you're not conditioned in spring training, but you've been pitching enough during the course of the year. You have an efficient inning. You can go out there and throw multiple innings. But it sure does help, you know, when you start getting your starters going deeper into ball games. I've always wondered why pitching coaches are so paranoid, want to keep that extra reliever for the once every 2 weeks that you get a sub-5 inning start.
Lined into the seats. 3-2. The Cardinals will have the top of the lineup due up, looking ahead to the bottom of the 7th. Opening day in Cincinnati, Pat Neshek came in. He walked 1. And since that time, he has walked just 2 more. And we talk about Colton Wong and confidence. Alan Craig, more confident player. It's like watching a different guy right now in Pat Neshek, having spent all the spring training with the club. This was not the pitcher that we saw in spring training. Jammed him. Neshek again. Tremendous job. Picks up the strikeout on Parra. That unique delivery. Time to stretch here at Busch Stadium. Good ball game, 2-2. Copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Just some of the images from our ball game tonight. 2-2 as Matt Carpenter looks at a ball. We're underway in the home half of the 7th. Wade Miley still in the ball game, the starter at 95 pitches for Arizona.
They do have activity in their bullpen.
Ground ball slowly hit to second, taken by Aaron Hill, one away.
And it looks like with Neshek only throwing 13 pitches to get through that inning, and we're going to see, first time we're going to see multiple innings from him.
Warm night here in St. Louis, and you know Pat is staying warm with the pullover. A lot of times you'll see a reliever just wrap a towel around their pitching arm, and that'll be it, especially here in St. Louis with the heat of the summer. Here's Peter Borges, and he looks at strike one. Peter is grounded into a double play, 4-6-3. A double to left center in the 3rd and lined out to right in the 5th. Showing bunt, drops it down. Race to first and got him. Good play.
Rosewich, very good defensive, and he pounced on that ball quickly and had a strong throw. Not a bad idea by Peter, but thrown out by plenty.
Stretch there by Goldschmidt.
That's a good example there. When you have a right-handed batter, you know, they talk about staying, you know, in the running lane. A right-handed batter has to go out on the grass, especially if you're bunting like that. So he's got to go. He'll take off running. He'll be on the grass, and then he's got to alter his motion.
Here's Holiday. That's it out of play. You know, Goldschmidt was the first player in 10 years since Baseball Info Solutions began, and they chart every single play to record more than 100 good fielding plays. He had 113. Saved 13 runs with his defense alone last year. So he was a Gold Glover and also won the Fielding Bible Award for the best defensive first baseman in the National League. So clearly his offense is what gets the headlines and the attention, but a very good all-around player.
Yeah, we talked so many times that Gold Glove winners go to a very good offensive player at that position, but he's both. Not only is he a very good defensive player, but a very good offensive player.
Worked with Matt Williams specifically when Matt was a member of the Diamondbacks coaching staff during spring training. A lot of one-on-one sessions. Matt, a very good third baseman his time. Here's a 2-1. Matt Holliday is about due as a right-hander is getting loose in the pen. That's Delgado. Holliday just 2 home runs this year.
He's a line drive hitter that is just so strong, they'll carry, his drives will carry out. But more times than not, he's a low ball hitter. He'll just overpower a ground ball and muscle it through the infield.
April 28th against Milwaukee. Last home run for Holliday. Watch out here. Miley on fumes potentially, and a 3-2 pitch. And he walked him. Go-ahead run is on. Miley with his 4th walk, and one of those was intentional. That was a Mark Ellis back in the 6th to bring up Lance Lynn and then force Mike Matheny's hand as Kirk Gibson hops out of the dugout for the 3rd time tonight.
And this time he's not going to an umpire at first base. He's going to take out his pitcher. Or maybe.
Gibson is not motioned to the bullpen just yet. They're talking this over.
It appears that he wants to leave in Miley, get the final out this inning, before he goes to his bullpen. There's a little vote of confidence.
Alan Craig. Flied out to right center. Struck out looking. Reached on an error and scored. Part of a 2-run sixth. Go ahead run is at first base. That's Holliday. And that's a liner into right center field. Holliday off to the races. On his way to third. They'll wave him in. Cardinals have the lead. Craig comes through.
Holliday scores all the way from first base on the double by Craig. His 20th double. Set up inside. And ball's down and in, just not far enough, and he hit this ball perfectly, splitting the gap of center field and right field, and gets it all the way there to where Holliday can circle the bases. And Kurt Gibson was hoping for anything but that, and now he will make a pitching change.
Again, 2-out RBIs. They could be killers. And in this instance, it knocks out Wade Miley. Delgado coming in for Arizona. Alan Craig comes through. A line drive shot into right center. Scoring Holliday from first. And the Cardinals have their first lead of the night. Ball is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Alan Craig with RBI number 20 and a big one here in the bottom of the 7th as the Cardinals have their first lead of the night, 3-2. Again, another 2-out RBI base hit. All the runs scored by the Cardinals tonight with 2 outs. And here's Yadier Molina. That's a big run standing at second base potentially. Our Chevy call to the pen takes us to Randall Delgado, who began the season in the rotation for Arizona. He's got the high ERA, 22 strikeouts and 12 relief appearances. However, 8 earned runs in 15 2/3.
Big prospect in the Atlanta Braves organization, came in that big 7-player deal that sent Justin Upton and Chris Johnson to Atlanta.
Yadi swinging away on the first pitch. He has done that now in 13 of his past 15 at bats, swinging at the first pitch.
And then prior to that, he usually took it. Trying to get that first pitch. Delgado has retired. The first batter he's faced in his relief appearance only 4 times.
By the way, in the previous Craig at bat in the 6th, they have changed that error to a base hit. So the Cardinals now have 7 hits. It becomes a multi-hit game for Craig. He's 2 for 4.
Happy for Craig, but scoring quite generous.
High fly ball hit down the right field line. It's slicing and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Alan Craig, the runner at second base, and a 3-2 St. Louis lead.
No, Yachty's been swinging at that first pitch. When he gets to see several pitches, you just like his chances, don't you?
Sure do. Turned into being one of the best hitters in this lineup. Hitless though tonight. Count is even, and Molina fouls it back.
Not jam, but muscle there enough to get it out.
So 10 of the 11 runs in this series scored by St. Louis have come with 2 outs. That is demoralizing on the other side.
Oh, it foils the strategy of a manager. He's always on the top step, thinking his pitcher's going to get out of it. As you mentioned, the defense, you know, they're saying, okay, we're going to make one more play and keep on breaking their back.
The 2-2 inside to Molina with Johnny Peralta on deck. Coming into this season, this is where you felt the lineup could be unforgiving. You know, when you add a Peralta after a Molina, you've already had Craig and Holiday. Adams sitting on the bench tonight. There's some big time talent potentially offensively in this lineup. The 3-2 inside, and it's a walk to Molina. Cardinals tonight have received 5 walks.
Again, that first batter a reliever faces is so critical that you have to retire that man. He walks Molina. Now you bring up Peralta. Peralta, as you're saying, is early starting to swing the bat. He's 259 now. Still trying to learn all these new pitchers. Walk to Molina was the 15th in 23 innings.
1 ball, 1 strike on Johnny Peralta.
Swing Peralta around to hit the ball in the outfield to right and right center. Big gap out in left center.
The 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike.
Is this one a strike?
Little tapper out in front of the mound. Delgado will step and throw. The Cardinals strand 2. However, with 2 outs, Alan Craig comes through again. Brings in Holiday, hustling in from first. And with this slide, it's now 3-2 St. Louis. Welcome back to baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. Let's go across the street. Fox Sports Midwest Live, our brand new studio over there. And Pat Paris is standing by with a Bommarito Sports Update. Pat. No doubt. Thank you, Pat. And from that, Pat, to Pat Neshek. Multiple innings here tonight. Can he get 3 more? We're in the 8th. It's Goldschmidt, Hill, and Pollock.
And I thought I saw a statistic on Greinke. I don't know if all 3 of those runs have been charged to him, but it was something like 21 or 22 straight starts of allowing 2 runs or less. And that has not happened since the 1900s.
Early 1900s.
Well, since 1900. I should have said not plural.
Strike at the knees to Goldschmidt, 1-2.
I doubt they kept records back then.
We're at the top of the 8th. A 3-2 St. Louis lead. Goldschmidt, RBI single to right. And now he strikes out for the 2nd time. 44 times he has struck out. The Mazda game summary. The Cardinals have a lead of 3-2. Miley 6 2/3. Kirk Gibson rolled the dice, kept him in for one more hitter, and it cost him with the base hit by Craig. Goldschmidt 1 for 3 with the RBI. Lynn 6 innings, 7 hits as he struck out 6. And a 2-hit night for Craig. Hit sharply to 3rd, and there's Matt Carpenter right on the line. 2 down.
Neshek recorded 5 outs and just 18 pitches. You're late in the ball game, so you want to have your third baseman on the line. Take the double away. You'll give up a base hit to his left, but you don't want no doubles. And boy, have we seen that defensive alignment pay off.
A.J. Pollock 0 for 3 tonight with a strikeout. There's strike 1. Pat Neshek pumping in strikes. Segrist up and throwing in the pen. Base hit into right.
He's got the lefty Segrist warming up, but it makes no sense to bring him in against Pennington. Even though Pennington, the switch hitter, has had a good night, 2 for 3. Batting left-handed, he's now batting, 200. He is now 10 for 50. But right-handed, he's 5 for 11 with 1 more RBI than he has in the, batting left-handed. So you keep Neshek in.
Pennington with a single, a double, and a ground out. Showing butt, takes a ball and a pitch that looked pretty good. Some good power and talent on the bench tonight for Arizona. You've got Eric Chavez, who has been red hot coming off the bench for the Diamondbacks. Montero hits from the left side, but also from the right side. Cody Ross, Chris Owings, and Alfredo Marte. Fly ball, left center. Borges is there. Pat Neshek, nice job. 2 scoreless innings. Bottom of the 8th rolls in when we come back. Trevor Rosenthal begins to throw at the Cardinals pen for St. Louis. Cardinals with 3 runs scored tonight, all coming with 2 outs. They fell behind 2-0, and then St. Louis was able to tie it up with a 2-run 6th and picked up a run in the 7th and a key hit tonight. No doubt about it, off the bat of Shane Robinson. A double that scored 2. It scored Craig and Peralta. And Shane start tonight, a pair of hits and the RBI double to tie it up.
Shane went down with the right attitude. Went down there, needed playing time. Stayed a couple weeks, tore it up, and he's back up here and being productive.
Al, have you ever seen a player grab what I assume is the bullpen phone? As that's pulled foul. You ever seen it?
Well, Mo Grabowski did it one time in Baltimore, but he called Sophia Loren in Italy, and another time he ordered pizza. But no, as far as a guy in the dugout phone calling down to the bullpen phone player to talking to his backup catcher.
Our guys in the truck, they don't miss much. I'm going to show you something pretty unique here after this at bat. The 2-1 pitch. Bottom dropped out of it. Delgado working his 2nd inning. And it's 2-2 on Shane Robinson. The Diamondbacks looking ahead to the 9th. At Gosewich, Enciarte, and the pitcher spot. But again, good bats coming off their benches. Robinson has a 3-hit night. I don't think he's on the phone for a pizza, nor Sophia Loren. That's Tony Cruz.
What was the name of that restaurant in Cincinnati?
Now, honestly,
that is interesting. Oh, I'm trying to think too. You know, and you wonder if he's got some words of advice to tell Tony Cruz, hey, tell this reliever this, that, something I picked up in this game.
I've never seen that.
I have not either.
Now that's truly a player becoming a coach.
Well, we've always said that when Mike Matheny was a coach for Tony, he was an extension of the coaching staff, and we say the same thing about Molina. But he just proved it to you there.
Here's Mark Ellis. Colton Wong has moved to the on-deck circle. What a job by Pat Neshek here tonight to check on Robinson. Neshek comes in pumping strikes. 23 pitches in his 2 scoreless innings. 17 strikes, and he struck out 2.
That's all we've seen from him this year. And so it's no surprise. You come to expect it from Neshek.
Runner goes, and the hit and run was on.
Shane was a very good base stealer in college. Responsibility. Ellis has to protect the runner and see does foul off a pitch right before it hit the dirt. But that's your responsibility.
Had the hit and run on. Let's see if they ask him to bunt. He was showing it.
Well, that's one of the little tricks that you can do is Delgado maybe from the bench was ordered to throw over, and then everybody watches the mannerisms of the hitter to see if he slides his hands up trying to give away the bunt. And it looked like he started to show bunt. But is it still on now? Ellis was showing bunt and stepped off.
One and two the count. Ellis tonight has walked. One of those was intentional. Walked twice. Also flied out to right.
Mark needs to get that bat out in fair territory. Had bad angle to hit that ball in foul territory. Get it out in front. Throw over to see if the bunt's still on with 2 strikes.
Two and two the count. Leadoff base hit. Shane Robinson to left field, a 3-hit night.
Like they've all been changeups. Just about this at bat to Ellis. Joe Thatcher, the lefty, starts throwing in the Diamondbacks pin.
Off the end of the bat, little squiver. All that English on it. Rolling inside the glove and then out of the glove, but Cardinals start the runner Robinson. He's in scoring position. And Colton Wong has been pulled back, and the Cardinals go with Matt Adams.
As I said, they got the lefty warming up. Thatcher, if Kirk Gibson wants to go that way.
Sure he will. No reason not to. Thatcher coming on when we come back. Joe Thatcher, man in scoring position. That's Shane Robinson at second base, and the Cardinals call upon Big Matt Adams to pinch hit against lefties this year. Adams 5 for 36. 2 of the 5 hits have been doubles. He has a team high 16 of those, but it's right-handed pitching that he has just had great success against. 362. So Kirk Gibson, knowing those numbers, goes to Thatcher in this spot, and you also have a lefty and Carpenter after that.
And at the Randy Shote of Arizona is Joe Thatcher. He's been very reliable. He was acquired from San Diego last year at the trade deadline.
And I know you believe and Matt believes that he can hit left-handed pitching.
No, if you make a good pitch, you can get anybody out. If you make a bad pitch, you know, they can hurt you. But you're really counting on getting a mistake pitch.
And he's done it in the past.
Yep. And the one real key is for, in this case, Matt Adams to really keep that front shoulder from flying open. If you pull off the pitches, you know, then they got that sweeping breaking ball away that he's really been vulnerable to. But if you hang that pitch, he can lose it. You pitch him away, probably a breaking ball.
1-0 pitch. Popped up.
Didn't get it over there.
Adams is on number 2.
We got to wait for 2 outs anyway before we can score.
It's been that way, hasn't it? Now it's Matt Carpenter. And this season, really no difference with lefties or righties. We saw that last year. Now the bigger sample size is right-handed pitching. 127 at bats against the righties, hit 268 against lefties this year. 53 at bats, hit 264.
Not a big sample size, but he's hit 373 against Arizona. Matt Carpenter. You know, Kendo's yelling, get a bigger lead, get a bigger lead. They got the second baseman. He's what, 40 feet off the bag playing in the outfield. Shortstop was back on the grass, and Oquendo was telling Robinson to get off, get a big lead. Never know. He take that if the defense gives you the third base bag. Many more ways to score from third.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Matt Carpenter. And a fly ball lifted into shallow center. It drops in. A 2-out RBI base hit for the Cardinal leadoff man. Big run scores. That's Robinson. 4-2 St. Louis here in the 8th.
Like we said, we needed 2 outs before the Cardinals could take advantage of the scoring opportunity. And people are saying outs and out. You know, what's the difference between a strikeout or just put the ball in play and good things can happen. Right off the end of the bat, it's not going to carry, just a little clunker, and the Cardinals have an extra insurance run. 2-run lead in the 9th inning is huge. And see if they can't add on.
Here's Peter Borges. Borges is grounded into a double play. Double to left center. Lined out. And tried to bunt his way on last time. Diamondbacks are thinking, what do we have to do to put the Cardinals away tonight? And really in this series.
Cardinals are starting to get a little bit of that swagger where they're starting to believe that they can win. May not know how you're going to win, but you know it when the game's over, you're going to have a victory. Sometimes it works the other way where you don't know how you're going to lose it, but you know you're going to lose.
Win tonight, the Cardinals will have taken 7 of 9 during this homestand, and a sweep, their first of the season. Here's an 0-2 pitch to Peter Borges, and he strikes out. Trevor Rosenthal loose, ready to go. We'll try to close it out when we come back. 15. He's 13 of 15. Our Chevy called to the pen.
See, the strikeouts are good. See how many pitches he's thrown this week.
11 in the extra inning game last night.
He looked right like he bounced back like we all expected him after the tough game on Sunday. Just got to cut down on his walks.
Opponents are hitting overall this season just .210 against Trevor. 28 strikeouts. He's walked 14. Fly ball. Long way to go for Robinson. And out of play. Gosewich, the hitter, no balls and 2 strikes. It's the bottom of this lineup for Arizona. And a fly ball lifted into right center. Over to get it. Borges out number 1.
Made that look so easy, but he really covered a lot of ground and got underneath that fly ball. That ball gets down an awful lot. Maybe that ball might have been a leadoff double a year ago.
League leader in saves. Francisco Rodriguez with 17. Romo with 15. Rosenthal looking for number 14.
So he's playing in that way, so it was easy to get the good jump, but he had to get over there.
It's Ciarte. Cardinals trying to finish off the homestand with a sweep.
Eric Chavez is out there on deck circle.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Seager's kind of just easily throwing behind Rosenthal. You got the lefty here and left hand hitting Chavez. Then you got Parra.
And the bunt is down. Carpenter tough play. 2 away.
Thank you. Carpenter playing in on the grass, anticipating the bunt. And he was very nicely and accommodating.
Eric Chavez appeared in his 1600th career game last night. Had a pinch hit single in the 8th. He's trying to extend this ball game. 2 outs. And Shane Robinson is our Budweiser player of the game. First pitch is Chavez. Is taken for a ball. The crowd tonight of 40,542, and they're on their feet.
Shaky start for Lance Lynn, but then he tightened down the hatches. Nishak was very good in his 2 innings of work, and Rosenthal is within a couple strikes of picking up his 14th save.
1 ball, 1 strike. Taken just a bit low. 2-1. 2 outs and nobody on. Strike 2.
Pulled the string on him there. So tough when you can throw so hard and have that good changeup along with outstanding breaking pitches.
On the outside corner. Called third strike. The Cardinals have their first sweep of the year. What a homestand. Finished off with an exclamation point and the strikeout for Trevor Rosenthal.
Good pitching all around. As I said, Lance Lynn gave up a couple runs in the first inning, actually the first 3 batters. But after that, he bowed his neck. Nishak gives 2 solid innings. Close this out with Rosenthal. The Cardinals had 9 hits. They score 4 runs. They score 4 runs. It's a Cardinal victory.
Matt Holliday scored the go-ahead run. Insurance late. They win it 4-2.